Hello, all. A very warm welcome. My name is Louis Allen, and it's great to be back here with you all. It's always great to be on a live and interact with our followers one on one, and a lot of times taking on your queries and also replying back to them. So, today we are going to talk about the level 3 of the inner voice. As you know, it's our Thursday routine that we talk about our energy healing courses. We started talking about the inner voice after the introduction. We dedicated each Thursday and with each live session to each of its levels. We spoke about level 1, level 2, and finally here we are in level 3. And like you know, this is the foundation of the inner voice, not just the foundation. This is where the things are actually of the healing is actually going to start. Level 4 is going to be healing, and level 3 is addressing thyself, which is a very important and a very imperative step before we get on to the process of healing. And you'll get to know about it in our conversation, in our discussion, which I'll be holding with my associate Samiksha. I'm just waiting for her to join, and soon after we'll start talking about our today's discussion, which is about level 3 of the inner voice. Until then, I'll give you a brief onto the inner voice and a recap on what we discussed in our previous episodes, in our previous discussions on level 1 and level 2. Like you know, energy healing techniques, they are so special and they are so close to each one's heart, like the practitioner as well as, of course, the facilitator. And for every practitioner, they have their own perspective to that energy healing technique. They have their own relation with it. And that's how each one of us are going to define it. It's going to be special, but yes, there are going to be facts, there are going to be practices that they remain generic and they remain connected to all of us. The inner voice. It leads us to the golden door, which is going to be level 5. I'm not going to reveal anything, so don't worry about that. So let's talk about level 1 first of all. That was presence, where we talked about appreciating what's in, what's around. And in level 2, it was cleansing, where we talked about in cleansing, where it was about the chakras. We discussed about each of the chakra, how it relates, and then how to go about the process of cleansing. Today we're going to talk about level 3, which is me call upon Samiksha with me to hold our today's discussion. Hello, hi Samiksha.
Hi, sir. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well.
Great to have you here for our next discussion on the level 3 of the inner voice.
Always grateful to be part of this session.
Lovely. All right, so after level 1, level 2, today we are here, which actually sets the foundation, or that actually going to talk about the practices of the inner voice. Following this, we'll be touching upon healing. So,
Right.
this is something which comes just before healing, addressing thyself.
Right.
And in addressing thyself, like I'm going to tell you that it is about addressing or listening or appreciating all those little tiny voices which we keep hearing in our heads. They are nothing, but they are our internal dialogue. There are a lot of things, there are a lot of dreams, aspirations, a lot of ideas. They keep cropping up every now and then. And when they are cropping up, we connect to them and we have a habit. Sometimes we brush them off that, okay, don't think like that. I'm not supposed to do that. That's wrong. This is right. We have that judgment for a lot of inner talks which we keep having. The relevance of level 3 is getting in touch with all of those voices and addressing them. It's not about we agree to them or not. It's not about we are gonna do what that is saying, but yes, we are gonna appreciate it. So hi, we have so what is it? It is we are talking about an energy healing technique The name of the energy healing technique is the inner voice, and it is a 5 level, it's a 5 stage healing process. And today we are going to talk about its level 3, which is addressing thyself. In our
Yeah.
previous lives, we talked about level 1 and 2.
Okay.
So,
So as
yeah,
you said that address, I don't know what's wrong with
yeah, yes, your voice is getting
my
cut. Yeah,
I don't know why. So
yeah, yes, yes,
yes,
I can
as
hear you now. Yeah.
okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes,
Okay, okay. So, yeah, like as you said, I completely agree with it because as much as we try to stop our thoughts, as much as we tell ourselves, okay, don't think about this, your mind ends up exactly thinking about that particular thing only. And it cannot take any, or commands like that, don't think about it. It will only amplify the thing that you keep, focusing on. So the only um, uh, way to get over that and is to address those thoughts and sit with them and then just let them pass.
absolutely, absolutely. I'll give you a very short example, which like is quite relatable, and a lot of us like might have been coming across that. For example, we are walking down the street, and we are say we are practicing a good fitness routine and our dietary regimes. We are directly onto that, and sometimes what happens, we come across our favorite bakery. There is something, I wanna eat this. We get cravings and we are like, I want this, I really want to eat it. Now that these are those inner bosses which are sitting inside our heads and ordering us. They are not our enemies. Now we start treating that voice as an enemy to the fitness regime, and that leads to an inner battle that okay, you should be eating this, you should not be eating this.
And
And
then the
this,
of not following the proper.
absolutely, absolutely, then the guilt comes in that okay, I don't think I'm doing it right, or I should be doing this, should not be doing this. Now the point is, it is not about, because that inner battle is going to take a lot of our essential energy,
Yeah.
what we could have devoted to somewhere else. In fact, had we devoted 1 hour of that thinking in 1 hour of working out, we might as well even had that cake and still we are working out, and that could have been even. That's just a thought though. But the point is to resolve this conflict. We are fighting against ourselves. We can never win. This battle can never end up in one side winning over the other, because we are standing both the sides. We can't be stronger or weaker than our own selves. It's just about addressing it, that okay, what exactly am I looking for when I want to eat that cake, or what exactly am I looking for when I want to follow this fitness regime? What am I trying to achieve? What is my intention? What is my end goal in order to do this? As we tread that path, that threads, that thought threads, as we go about them, as we witness them, that is when we actually get to know that okay, this is what is my need. Now the boss which was sitting and fighting with another one, we can actually ask him that okay, what are you representing, what are you trying to, like, each of these voices, they are our inner voices which are correct, they are 100% correct in what they are doing. Just that their way of achieving is not updated, it is not in line with where we are right now. And that's exactly what we are going to achieve through the course, and that's what's the purpose of inner voice, getting all those inner voices attuned. Because when they are going to, each voice is going to push into the same direction, that is only when we achieve our goals. That is when we are going to make something happen which is going to, what we can call as success.
that it's really important that everyone understands that the thoughts inside our heads, or whatever battles that we're having inside our heads, all of those voices, though the voices are kind of like security guards, and what they're guarding is our soul and our heart, and they protect us from whatever may potentially bring us some kind of danger or threat or anything that gets us out of our comfort zone. Our mind will try to tell us to not do that because it's going to make us uncomfortable. But at the end of
Absolutely.
the day, understand that they are not our enemies. The voices are not our enemies. They're all kind of, they're actually super possessive best friends that really want to keep you safe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's quite well quoted. Like you said, the super protective best friends that want to keep us safe. Yes. And they are basically not just our friends, they are a part of us and our
Yes,
best friends. And a lot of times it is said we see our image in our best friends, we see our shadows in them.
yes.
The reason we have an inseparable connection with them.
Okay,
Voices
okay.
as in,
Someone is asking voices as in schizophrenia. No, no. We're just talking about the thoughts that we're having on an everyday basis, the 50,000 thoughts that we're having every single day, from the moment we wake up. We're not talking about seeing things or hallucinating. No, that's not our discussion right now.
like we all have ideas, we all have aspirations, and each of the inner boss, they are protecting something, they're achieving something. And that's exactly what our role is. Like it is said, our body is a company of 30 trillion cells. Like 30 trillion, it's a massive number.
Yeah,
In fact, it's going to take us a while to count the zeros, in fact. So
yeah.
it's such a
I'm
massive number.
number.
And it is our responsibility that we are the CEO of that company. It's our responsibility to lead that company, to lead each of the cell very well. And that's exactly we're going to achieve what we are intending to achieve when all these cells they'll start to act in one single direction. And what do we want to achieve?
Right.
So
So
Samika, what do you think from the perspective, maybe from like from a graduate's perspective, or from a student's perspective? Like how, from a student's perspective, you can relate to this?
I think as a student or just someone who is born and brought up in the digital and the new media age, which is um, before I talk to my parents or before I look at myself in the mirror, I check my phone first thing. I
Mhm.
check social media first thing, and that's exactly what I'm doing when I don't have anything to do. It's kind of like a repetitive behavior, very
Mhm.
unconscious behavior. And I think that I'm not the only one. I think everyone is the same, and that's because the world is full of there's an oversaturation of information, there's an oversaturation of the things that you can be, the trends that you can follow, the clothes that you can wear, and the person that you can be. There are just so many options that you completely forget that who you actually are is not out there. It's all in there. And I think a lot of people of my generation are not in touch with themselves. They're all part of a like like sheep behavior, like crowd, as you say, like wherever someone's going, everybody is just following that person. Nobody has a foundation of their own. That's what I feel personally, that nobody
Mhm.
has a foundation of their own because the world is full of information. Nobody knows what to follow, what is the right thing. Everything is confusing because there are so many options. There are just so many options. Earlier there were no options at all. So people
Mhm.
used to be like, this is the way life is. But right now I think, and I think a lot of young kids are also getting into um, thinking from a different point of view, and I also really appreciate that, and I'm really grateful that a lot of people these days are coming up and talking about things that are beyond the systematic programmed behavior, and they're actually now thinking for themselves.
Right. Going, thinking beyond the system and actually touching upon the true emotion, what they are feeling inside.
Exactly.
Well, that's quite well quoted because in today's time, we have more answers than we have questions. And we are
Exactly.
just trying to find questions to them that, okay, I have this, where do I put this?
Exactly, exactly. So many of us have, you know, really, really beautiful lives, and especially during these times of COVID and such hard times, more and more people need to realize that life is so beautiful. Like every day, if you have a bed, you have a roof over your head, you have your loved ones, you have so much. But people are so they are ungrateful because the world or the media makes them feel like there is a lack of something. But if they understand that the feeling of lack is the exact thing that makes them feel, then that makes them realize what abundance is in the first place. So I think everything is
Truly,
connected.
quite well
At the
quoted.
end, if you do not take the driver's seat of your own life, you will, just like we talked in the previous session, it's just going to be on autopilot, and somebody else is going to make decisions about what are you going to do, what are you going to be, what are you going to wear, what are you going to eat, how are you going to look like in the future, who your house is going to be, what your kids are going to do. You wouldn't even realize the system has it planned out for you. They will tell you अच्छा ये अच्छा होता है, ये अच्छा नहीं होता है, like whatever. People need to understand that
Yeah.
they need to think from like the inside first, and then look at the plethora of options that is available outside.
Right, because in the modern times, like it, what do we call the conveyor belt behavior? As soon as a person is born, they're put on a conveyor belt. Now they are moving. They'll go to school. They'll, after passing out from school, they'll go to college. They'll maybe start working, and
Yeah,
that's exactly how their lives are going. At the
yeah.
end of the day, they connect to that person who they are, to the person they see in the mirror every day. That's their true personality is, that's their true image is. And once they do that, like the life changes. It is always inside out. It's kind of a flower that blossoms from within. And
And
that's
it's
exactly
every single moment things are changing. Every little thought that we are having somewhere affecting our lives, but we don't realize that. So, we keep thinking negative thoughts, we keep going into that circle and zone, and nobody tells you what is the right way to get out. Everybody tells you, Ari, stop thinking about it. You're overthinking, you're being crazy. All of those things, people need to put it in the right bucket, that, when it is really necessary to understand that um, it whatever your thoughts are, they have a direct impact on what your life is.
absolutely. And now, when we talk about thoughts, one of the major things, like one of the important things I want to talk about is when we have a thought, a lot of times we tend to follow or we tend to chase that thought that, okay, I'm feeling this, I'll do that. I'm feeling this, I'll do so and so thing. What we're going to do is we need to witness the thought. Like, we don't have to follow it. We don't have to run after the thought. Just sit at your place and see where the thought is going, where the thought is taking us. And
And
that
where
process, and yeah, yes, where it is coming from. Absolutely. Where it is coming from. And that is the point when we tend to realize that, okay, this is a pattern which is going on. And that's exactly how we can break it. And that is the key to when we connect to our inner self, because we cannot control what's going on outside of us. That's the only thing we have is our within, our thoughts, our emotions, like to which ones we give in, to which ones we act upon. We cannot even control the flow of them. We can only control our actions. upon them.
Exactly. And also, I think that my generation is too high on stress. We don't even know it, but the kind of stress that we have, I mean, nobody. Um, if we look at the generation, before us, which is our parents, let's say, they are so, I believe that they're so super, um, I'm missing the word, but they're pretty good at handling everything. They have done everything. They've had their struggles. They've made their careers. They've given us a beautiful home and a beautiful life. And now this generation, our generation, which is this Gen X, since I'm part of Gen X. So,
Hmm.
oh, I'm so sorry. I'm part of Gen Z. I'm part of Gen Z. So so what there is, we have so much stress going on in this age that our parents did not even, had to bear, like when they were in their 20s, or maybe even in their 30s, they did not go through this kind of stress. Although they are the ones who did the real boss things, who made the real badass decisions, and did real good things. Our parents. And on the other hand, us, we are the people who are just so high on stress. We overthink every night. What are we going to do? How do people see me? It's too much. Sometimes I feel bad for people. I mean, people my age and other kids. They don't have anything to worry about, and they don't have anything to be insecure about. They just really need to learn to calm down and, you know, see things
I
clearly.
really appreciate you taking this up.
And
I really appreciate you took this up, and in fact, it also connects to what we talked about in level two, like just a glance of that. Like we talked about chakras and cleansing. So, thought is a part of the crown chakra, and stress is when we are too focused on thoughts, when we are too focused on what we are seeing, and when we are too focused on what we are listening, and we don't connect to what we are feeling because they are slower emotions, they are slower chakras. Their processing takes longer. We can process a thought maybe a lot quicker than we can process an emotion. And now, being just connected to the thought and not to the inner emotion, that is when a person gets internally like that's a disconnection from where it begins. That leads to stress. There are so many thoughts that they get just coagulated at the headspace, and now there's a plethora of thoughts. We don't know what to do
yeah,
until the time a person realizes it goes beyond their control.
absolutely. I mean, I'm guilty of this. My thoughts travel at the speed of light, and
Well,
I
truly,
mean,
this again is a thought.
mm, yeah, I manage to,
So,
mentally paralyze myself every 15 days. Every 15 days, I have this loop. I'm on a loop, and I have a pattern. I'm doing everything
mhm.
right. I'm doing as much as I can. But one random day, I'd be like, am I doing enough? All those things. So, and I feel it's normal. I feel it's okay to
It's the
sometimes.
accepted norm now. It's the
Yeah,
accepted
it's
masses norm.
hmm,
And maybe like this is something for which like this course, the inner voice, this energy healing technique, this has been curated for that purpose. That getting over that zone of overthinking, getting over that stress what we are feeling every moment, and getting in touch to all those thoughts and all those inner selves that we have been dealing with. This is exactly why this course has been designed. And like with this, I want to thank our viewers for joining, and I would request if they want to have some questions, we would love to answer them. And with this, like we'll possibly we'll conclude our today's session. And I want to thank you, Samiksha. Thank you so much for joining, for holding this discussion. And we'll be coming up with the level 4 on next Thursday. Stay tuned for that.